Hello, everyone. How you doing? This is Lady Hale, and you see me here right now with Pastor Ellis. How you doing, Pastor Ellis?
I'm doing wonderful.
Oh yeah, we once saw you on this fabulous trip. But we go any further, you need to tell us about this trip you got going on here that
I tell
y'all had
you,
on.
I tell you what, you was with me in spirit because I know that's your kind of place.
You know that was it. I like take plenty of pictures because I need to see the pictures. I want to see these pictures, and I love it. I love it. All of that, that the food you were eating, everything y'all were doing, and we loved it. I'm like, yes, 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 yes.
Well, I know if you go, you ain't coming back.
Yeah,
So
you know, I'm not
uh,
coming back. I like, nah, I don't want to come back. I
it
don't
is
want to come back. I
it
like, nah, I
is
don't want to come back.
it is beautiful. It's probably one of the most relaxed places you ever gonna be. I mean, the food is absolutely wonderful,
Okay,
and unlike like I said in America, it's a lot less complicated.
okay,
People are a lot less complicated. It's a lot slower pace.
okay.
America is get here at 7:30, get here at 8, get here, and you go all day long. Well, people in Paris will sit at a cafe for almost 2 hours just talking.
Oh,
Yeah, they'll eat a meal and then they'll talk to each other.
okay, okay,
So,
cool.
that is one of the things about it is that the scenery is so nice that everybody's outside all day.
I saw that. I said, everywhere they go, everybody is outside, and that's good. Did you find out what was like anything they said, maybe a COVID rate or anything? But I know most of those countries don't really have a whole lot of COVID rate like we do over here, do they?
No, because there's a lot more. It's a lot more safety protocols there.
Okay, okay, okay,
So people will, they'll wear their mask. You have to have COVID vaccination when you go in a restaurant, um, and most of that country is vaccinated anyway.
okay,
And you don't see people that there's so many precautions. You don't see people being careless. With a
okay,
lot of just behavior where they're nobody wears masks. People wear
okay.
masks when they go into the restaurant. They wash their hands, things like that. So it's just a very, very laid back kind of lifestyle.
So was it a different culture you would say over there?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, you don't have the police present that you have in America,
Uh-huh.
where sometimes you feel like you're in a military zone.
Okay, okay.
Here in their country, you very rarely. It's almost like the people they have a sense of independence,
Okay,
and
cool.
you don't see a lot of crime or a lot of just very very just laid back.
So glad
And
you enjoyed yourself. That's Bishop Donald Baker. Do you know him?
Never
he's been
seen him a
so
day in my
familiar.
life.
Yeah. I think I know him.
Everybody know this man.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
know
good friend.
him.
I love him. He is
You
amazing.
can't deny it. I've seen you before. You
But
can't hide.
I like what he say when he get mad at me. When you asked me to come on this little old show, I could have been doing something else. I love it. I love it when he say that.
Wonderful.
He said, you know, I'm gonna be ratchet whether you like it or not. I like, okay, ratchet, here
Well,
we
it
come.
ain't little. It's not a little show because it's a big show. I just say
That
Oh,
is
I be loving it. I love it. I love it when he do it. I'm like, okay, yes. So that's why I asked, since we will be talking about different things, he brings a different perspective to when you talk, and he gonna tell the truth whether you like it or not. That's just the way it is, and everybody love it because he's amazing. And
yeah.
he has the biggest heart. And don't let him fool you. He'll help anybody if they need help. That he's the one. He'll be out there packing them big old carrots bag.
I I I help them and hurt their perspectives at the same time.
Yeah. Amen.
So what are we talking on tonight? Reverend?
Well, I was just asking him a few minutes ago because him and his wife just got back from Paris. So he was just telling us a little about how Paris is and what is going on. And I said, I don't know. Do you know Miss Gilbert? She stays out there where you are. She is running for governor of Texas. Did you know Miss Demetria Gilbert? She stays out there where you stay. Well, both of y'all stay out there.
Well, is she a liberal or conservative?
Well, you have to ask her all of that. I have no
clue. Talk with her right now, because if she's a liberal, I probably don't know her in a sense.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you. If she comes on, I'm gonna let her answer that for you.
Does she understand how Fort Bend County works and how instrumental I am in this county?
Well, you need to let her know.
Okay. Get my glasses on for this
one. Oh no, he said he got to get his government glasses on. That's what he called his government glasses.
He got inspected.
Now, Pastor, you have a church here in town?
Yes, we're just starting here in Richmond, right off downtown.
I say it again.
We're starting in Richmond, which is we got a building just right behind City Hall, actually.
Is it the building that used to look like an apartment complex?
It looks like a store.
Okay.
Yeah, because he stay out there, but you know what? He gonna tell you, Mr. Baker stays in Israel. He don't want to give his address.
I am in Israel. I'm in Israel and been here for some time. Now, Lanita, you're gonna see a double display of me because my battery is low. I apologize. Okay. I'll just put Donald, but I won't turn on sound.
Okay, but which one you want up?
Uh-oh. Look like the devil don't want that.
Well, okay, the devil don't want that one.
Hold on, we know how to get him out of here.
Okay. Yeah, so Pastor Ellis, what were some of the topics that you wanted? Because the topics that I had sent you guys, those were the topics most people had wanted us to talk about. But first of all, you wanted me to talk about basically when you have like a nonprofit, how do you basically talk to the vendors, or how you talk to prospective donors?
One thing that we talked about, and Mr. Rankins had brought this up, was how to pitch your vision
right
to someone. And what had came up was that he was turned down, and it kind of brought me back to what Joseph went through, where he tells his brothers the vision, and actually, they hate him for it. And then, it starts the process. But the thing is that sometimes I think you have to really be careful of who you pitch certain ideas and certain types of vision to, because everybody can't receive it and everyone is not going to invest.
Right.
And I hate to talk to somebody that not only do I know they don't understand the vision, but I know they're not going to invest. So my question to you, as you being a CEO and being successful in your own right, how do you tell, or how do you spot somebody that you say, hey, you know what, I know I shouldn't tell this person my vision because I know they're not going to invest or they're not going to understand.
Or they might steal your vision. And Donna Baker and I was talking about this earlier. You want to share? You was at Gene Moore Church and y'all were talking about that, Mr. Baker. You want to share a little bit?
Well, he's one of the great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, there's no echo or anything?
Which one you want me to get rid of?
None of them.
Okay.
But what's important is that I was saying about how you're an influencer and has not a tendency, but the propensity to convince people of certain things, and you're very powerful. See, you got to understand something. The days of a preacher being a celebrity, it should be over. Now don't mess with me because I go off. It's over. Because when that happens, we do a disservice to people. Now, and Lanita, your job, and of course, Dr. Mathis, did I say her name right?
Candace Mathis, yes.
She's a mess, but she's my friend. She's all over the place politically. The church must become more visible to people.
Correct.
Okay? The days is over of where you can tell the district saints and tell them anything and turn around 3 times and God's going to bring you out. Well, I had some situation I was dealing with and I turned around by 20 times and never came out. All right. So we got to come different. Now I may be missing something, guys, as to I heard Pastor talk about vision and
Right.
people investing in your vision. Now, I know that term is popular and a lot of preachers use the term investment in business. Okay, in the business world, but in the religious world, it ain't no investment in no vision.
And let me ask you something, Mr. Baker, because you have invested in our organization and what I do.
That's an organization. Now, I love doing those. Okay. And I give to churches. I give to 3, 4 churches. Okay.
Right.
That's not it. So I'm trying to understand what the pastor's saying is what he's talking in reference to.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from. But I think that anytime that you enter into an endeavor, there are people that invest their time. There are people that invest their talents. They come in under whatever you're constructing, and they either invest or they don't. And so I understand what you're saying when you talk about the idea of investing in a church. But even then, there are people that come in into your church and they become secretaries, they become deacons, or they become maybe they never step foot in your church, but they give to that vision that you want to build in that particular community.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you talk about vision.
Go ahead.
You said something about buying into the vision. That's what I'm trying to get to. Sometimes people don't accept it. And let me tell you, when God gives you, me, and Dr. Hale a vision, he gives it to us and not to them. And people may not understand the vision like we got it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And so to get people to give of themselves, their time, relinquish their lively pleasure, and going out, moving, they do whatever they do, it has to make sense when we explain the vision. And they don't need to invest in it, because when they hear you explain it and they catch it, it connects spiritually, you're done. But these pimps, preachers, I'm sorry, on Sunday mornings, they get up and we do all these acrobats, and all that. And the people leave the same way they came. So people are not so in a hurry to get involved with church work. Now, I have to charge you for this. Now, I'm going to tell you what we have to do. And I've said this for 7 years. Can you hear me okay? Because I got a lot going on, but it's okay. Now, is this. People will get involved in ministry quicker than they will church. You missed that one, but you give me the tithes because I know you're going to use it Sunday morning. Jesus had a ministry. He didn't have a church. So the vision has to be explained properly and articulated to the people. So when you pastor, me, or Dr. Hale explain, they catch it and run with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I get where you're coming from. It's just one of those things where even Jesus said, he sees the fisherman, he says, "Follow me." Well, the question that most people would ask is, where are we going?
All right.
Why should I follow you? You don't have a plan. You don't have a schematic design. You don't have, your point is well taken when it comes to understanding, the difference between a church or a building or a ministry. The problem that we see a lot of times is that, do we really understand, or do we actually quantify what we actually have? Do we actually know our own worth? And, I was listening to LeBron James, and there was a sneaker contract. They offered him $10 million. The only thing was he had to sign saying that he would not negotiate with anyone else after he signed that contract. And he said, no. And how many of us could say no to a deal like that? How many of us would say, you know what, that sounds good, but I believe that what I have or what I possess is worth so much more. And I think he understood the value of his talent to where he said, you know what, I can turn this down because I believe that what I have is greater than that. And so do we actually understand when to turn something down because it's not enough?
Yeah, I turned down. I know when to turn stuff down. I turned this woman down the other day for a date. I understand what you're saying, but LeBron James, is that who you said? Because I'm sorry, forgive me, because I'm not into sports. I don't like. I can care less.
Donald Baker, Donald, Dr. Mathis just sent you a message.
What? Tell her to call me. She needs to get on and talk. I don't want to respond. I want to talk head on with her. She's doing a great job. Lanita, look, Dr. Hale, excuse me. She's doing a great job. I like her style. And look at her, old messy tail. That's my friend. She is, I'm giving her credit. She's politically connected, and I watch her a lot. And she's busy. You understand? Now, understand something. With pastors talking about LeBron James. Help me, because I'm not a sports. I don't know nothing about sports. I don't know nothing about sports. Give me another analogy to LeBron James, because he can afford to turn down some stuff.
You echoing in the back, Donald, now.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. What? Okay. Hold on. Okay.
But let me pose the question to you, Dr. Hill.
Okay.
So, what was the last deal or proposition that you had to turn down, that you had to just say no to, even if it sounded promising?
Yes, because a lot of things as being our money is not good money. So I want you to know that. So some things might sound good, but actually when they put it on paper and you actually see it, it's not worth it. You either selling your soul or have to sell out just for a few dollars. So some of the things they might ask you to do will be unethical.
Wow.
So it all depends on if you have your brand and you keep your brand positive. It's nothing that would allow me to sell out for a few dollars. I've made it this far without your money, so I'm gonna keep on making it without your money. And then people always want to think that you need them. No, we do not need you, and you got to spell that out quickly. If you give us money, we're gonna make it. If you don't give us money, we're gonna make it. And if you don't give us money, we're gonna go to Donald Baker and get the money. Damn, I got Donald Baker over here. All I do is make a phone call and I'm good.
That's the key. And I understand that Bishop, like I said, he said the sports analogy, he wasn't able to engage in that. But what happened was, this was at the beginning of his career, where turning down $10 million, he was still flying back to the projects.
Right.
have to turning that down. And it's it's so often that we get caught in a moment of desperation when somebody takes an
There
offer.
she is, Dr.
Hey,
Baker.
how you doing?
That's Dr. Candace Matthews. Yay!
How you doing, Dr. Matthew? Dr.
Oh,
Matthew?
this lady is amazing, Pastor Ellis. You need to meet her. She's our accountability chair for the state of Texas, making sure all the everything goes right. If it don't go right, she gonna be on you with you, the politician, the church, whoever she coming for you. So we love Dr. Matthews, and I talked to her yesterday. I will be appointed to some of her things. We haven't got it together yet, but as soon as we are, it's going to be national. So not only will I be helping here in the state of Texas, I'll be helping on a national basis. So I'm just so thankful to be with her. So can you just tell everybody?
Well, Dr. Hale,
yes,
that is
sir.
not, that echo is not coming. I disconnected. That may be the preacher or you.
Hold on.
Because I want to hear Dr. Matthews.
I just muted myself. I still hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. My voice is like the voice of the
Hold
Lord.
on, let me see.
Echo.
What about now? It probably was Pastor
Beautiful.
Ellis because I just
Beautiful.
came back on.
Beautiful. So,
Okay.
so first of all, I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Matthews. I have been watching her work tirelessly.
Excellent.
And she, now listen, seriously, on a seriously note, listen, we don't judge, the religious folks fight people, whether they Baptist, Catholic, Pentecostal, Apostolic, and Methodist. Now, but on the other hand, I have seen over the years how all the Baptist, Catholic, Pentecostal, Methodist, and all these denominations has learned to come together and fellowship. You understand? When it comes to politics, because somebody has a different take and a different perspective, we become enemies and want to pull out guns. Dr. Matthews has a very wonderful platform that she worked with, and I shared this with her. I forget where we met, where we was at. I forget, but I am on the other side of the road when it comes to politics. Do y'all understand that?
We understand.
Okay. All right. But what I like is when I see the people that's opposite of what my belief is when it comes to politics. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, look, I ain't scared to say it. I'm a conservative. Dr. Matthews is a Democrat, and she works hard. And one thing about it, I have good friends, Democrat. She really works.
She do.
She works harder. Now, I don't know how we got here. She works harder than some of the people she supports.
I agree. She do. She is everywhere all the time. Everywhere.
And I don't know how she get around like that.
I don't either.
Like that.
And all them kids she got, she do all that work, go home, cook, get all them kids ready, and then she right back at it again. I say, all right now,
and
sister.
The beautiful thing is she's a beautiful lady and she's 70 plus.
Oh. Now you know you're wrong for that. You know you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
Us got a plastic surgeon in, honey. Okay. But thank you for those accolades. I really appreciate that because at the end of the day, I got to the point where I was like, it's either you can talk about the work or you're gonna actually do the work. Which one is it? And I'm like this, I don't gotta like you, but I'm gonna respect your work and you're doing the work. You know what I mean? And then another thing is that what I know the game and Donald made a point is that when it gets to the point where you have political views you don't agree, then you want to start spiritual. Well, in my on dealing with things like that, I don't do mess. I'll sue you behind. How about that?
Come on now. We'll see you in court in my Dr. Matthews voice.
Because guess what? Because public opinion don't matter. Court or what happens in that court does. So I just, what I look at is like, don't get mad at me because I'm getting out. I'm making it. I'm, finding my way, my own individuality to bring and help. Don't get mad at me. Just come on and join. Get on the battlefield with me. I got a problem with people that always want to complain about it, but then when it's right, can't fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be a bumping around, stop doing that. Come stand side with me on the battlefield. Because at the end of the day, our people to attack. Our is under assault.
You kind of breaking up on us now, Dr. Matthews. You kind of breaking up a little bit, please.
Can you hear me now?
Is that better for y'all?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so the thing is that, you know, our is under attack. Our democracy is under attack. Women's right to choose to govern your is under attack. And so people can play these games want to, but these Republicans, yes, not check.
Break it up.
Oh yeah, you breaking up now, sweetheart.
I was saying
maybe you need to mute something because I want to hear.
Yeah, they say even for the audience, you breaking up, sweetheart. And I muted everybody.
And I'll have one device. It's not me.
What about
I muted everybody?
What about now? Oh, okay, so the thing that I look at is that, you know, the state that we live in right now, the state of Texas, we are at ground zero, okay, for the foolishness. All the foolishness is happening in Texas. The whole nation is watching Texas. That Mr. Hot Wheel governor that we have over here with that foolishness, that explains why he in that wheelchair, because he's doing a lot of evil stuff. And I just can't put it no way but what it is. And what happened to those people at that Del Rio border is totally unacceptable. What was that? That patrol border patrol officer?
Border patrol.
Force, like we were in the Fugitive Slave Act. Are you serious?
Like with the whips and chains.
Like, I'm not okay with none of that. Like, none of that at all. I'm not okay with no people being suppressed. Just like this legislative session, they call it the suppression session. That's what it is. And I need my Democratic cohorts. When somebody turn around and slap you, you need to punch them in the mouth. That's how I look at it.
Now, look, you sounding like Maxine Waters. So, Dr. Matthews, now I don't want to, because Lanita gonna fire me and ain't gonna give me the check. The good Reverend said something, and I want to address. He said about the what was it? Because I'm trying to bring the church. People try to separate church and state. You said of reaching visions.
You breaking up, Donald.
That ain't me.
Well, I think that one thing I wanted to talk about is addressing Bishop and our esteemed colleague that just joined us, is that when it comes to my political beliefs, I've benefited from the vision of Dr. King, which I wouldn't classify him as a Democrat or a Republican, but a leader. Everybody that is, if you identify as a Republican, a liberal, a Democrat, has benefited from the freedoms which Dr. King actually lost his life over. And I think that's the thing that we get sidetracked, even in the church. And what has disturbed me is that, especially when in the Pentecostal faith, is embracing, I think when we embraced Donald Trump, we saw that alienated a lot of African Americans. Why? Because of the racial overtones his administration brought to bear upon Black people. The thing about it is, if you're going to benefit me, or you coming with something with your platform, and it's going to benefit me, it's not going to be that I identify with it as a Republican or a Democrat. I identify with it because you reached me with a message. You are a leader more than you are with your party. And I just think that sometimes, even in the church, we get sideways when we don't recognize what a leader actually is. We get caught up in liberal and Democrat rather than what is most beneficial to us as a people. I think when we talk about African Americans, what do we need? Well, the thing about it is we have a need to be educated about our political landscape right now. I think that's what I'm really thankful for, is I'm hearing issues that I should be aware of. And so that identifies me as not a Republican or a Democrat, but I see you as a leader. And so anybody can access your message.
Well, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about who run around actually just pockets and don't give about the people? What about I said those pastors who all about in their pocket, not the help of their people?
I think that's a great question, and a fair question at that, is that we do have pastors that it's all about flossing or about how you present yourself before people. What do I, as a pastor myself, I made this decision. I'm glad you asked that question, because I believe in giving more than what you give me. And one thing I made a decision about is I'm not giving to causes of American ministries anymore. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've been to Africa. I've been and seen our people, and how the little money that I give them is for them to survive on a day-to-day basis. Whereas I'm giving money to a minister here that has $1,500 that he goes and buys a new suit with, that puts a down payment on a car so that he can drive around looking nice in his community, rather than if I'm giving that money to the Philippines, where I know ministers in the Philippines, South Africa, West Africa, where they need those funds. Those funds are for them to eat and actually touch and reach their community.
So what about your that's in who can't pay? What about the education that's in the community that can't?
You gotta have your PC. We can't hear that.
I think I understood the question.
Can you hear me?
I think that.
Wait a minute. Can you
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, let me. What I want is, what about your congregation who can't pay? What about your congregation who cannot pay a house note? But there's people in your congregation that do not pay the tax. What about members of your congregation who may have COVID, or who may have some underlying issue in the hospital, can't get pray on you? What about that?
One of the things about me as a pastor is I've dealt with one of our church members got put in jail, needed $300 to get out of jail. We paid it. No questions asked. Now, did she pay tithes? No. She had 8 kids. She actually got out of jail. Did she ever pay the money back? No. But I looked at it as she had 7 kids to raise. She needed the money. She couldn't get it from nowhere else. She couldn't get it from her family. So we were her family. And I believe in something Oprah said, you give money. Don't give loans. We've had ministers that when we had disasters say, hey, give us your FEMA check. Give me $1,200. Now, those are people that catch the church bus to your church. And the sad thing about it is, we have white ministers that actually exploit African Americans because, of insecurities within themselves that cause them to be taken advantage of.
So do they taking advantage?
Hold on. Oh, we can't buy this hard statements. Now, Reverend, I'd be damned if that's just the truth with the white minister. Black ministers take advantage of black people more so, okay? Now, I'm not saying they don't do it, okay? It ain't just the white minister, because most black people leave the black church because of they being raped and victimized so much. Yes, it ain't just the black church. Now, look, preacher, let me explain something to you. I don't know if Lanita told you, but for 20 years, I pastored and never, and some of the church members probably watching for 20 years and never took an offering, never had an anniversary, never had appreciation, and didn't even, if I can smell them trying to do something for a birthday, I cut it off because I did it from here. Now listen, let me tell you something. You said it, that something about the fishes and the loaves, the fishes with Jesus. Now look, I ain't a Bible scholar, but I do keep one around here somewhere every now and then to keep me from cussing and going off. Now, understand something. When Jesus spoke to Peter, Peter wasn't no dummy. He had a fishing business. He was working. And he said to Jesus, you want me to follow you? Stop. You want me to follow a man walking in sandals with long hair and a robe to follow you? I got a wife at home. In that same context, you said, Jesus says to, Peter says to Jesus, I got a wife at home. You want me to stop fishing to follow you? And Peter's response was, what's in this thing for me? You understand? Now, when you're talking about people, listen, I ain't gonna let no white man, black man, Chinese man, Mexican man, Jew, Gentile, Protestant, or Catholic, any exploit me. Because they can't go in my pocket and get my money. But rape and victimize has been done more by black pastors. Now, Pastor, I know that's hard. That kind of mess with you a little bit. But let me tell you something. Then you said something else, and I'm not different with you. But the question is, if the Bible says charity begins at home first, then it spreads abroad. Now, how you taking your money over to the Philippines and all over there when you got people right here sleeping under the bridge downtown and ain't got nothing to eat? And how do you take your money over there when you got poor older people that don't even have AC in their home? Now, I ain't worrying about the people in Africa. I ain't worried about the people in the Philippines. I ain't worried about the people in China. I'm close here. And when I understand that fact, that the people must understand that charity begins at home first, then it spreads abroad. Now, you got to talk to me on that one, preacher, because the pimps are in the black churches. I see more pimps in the black churches because I go to the black churches, not in the white church. Now, I hate to do this, but I explained to this guest how to get in. Station identity. Now you just interrupt these people's show. I told you. But go right ahead.
Well, let me introduce. We have Miss. Yes, sir.
I don't want him to think I'm not.
Oh no, he know you. You're telling the truth. You're okay.
Listen, we spend more time as black people making fault. Now we know the dominant culture has caused a lot of damage to us, But when are we going to rise from that? Listen, the beautiful thing I see that's happening, Dr. Mathis said that eyes are on Texas. The beautiful thing I see happening now is that the empowerment movement, and that there's a movement that's happening that most people don't understand in our own culture, but the dominant culture understand, and that is the rise of the Black woman. So it ain't no white man, black man, nobody can enslave me. And when we plant these seeds, it does a disservice to our children and our community. And now we can rise above that. Now, Reverend, now listen, if you got to take your money over to the Philippines and all those to help those people, what you do about the people here? What you do about the people that Dr. Mathis feed on the streets and Lanita Hale? Now, preacher, I listen, I don't know how you feel about it, but I just tell the truth. But you have to understand this here. That's just, sometimes we say those things because we've been hurt. Hello, you got Black politicians that are pimps and Black preachers that are pimps that have hurt their own community. So let's talk about how
get me started that, because
he can't unmute himself. You muted, Pastor?
Yeah,
there he is.
like I said, I'm grateful for what Bishop has said. But the one thing that we have to understand about what we have in America versus what we have abroad is that if you've ever been to South Africa, or if you ever been to West Africa, and you see those people, there are no welfare programs or programs that provide for them the way they are in America. If you've ever been to the Philippines and see someone that has come from 30 miles away to go to a church service, when you're in America, there's a church on every corner. There's bellies that are full, that there are shelters. And you understand that in South Africa, there's 25% of the population dying with AIDS. You understand that those people are, in a sense, helpless. Whereas in America, we do have welfare. We have, I had a lady that was in our church that had 6 kids, that allowed her boyfriend to keep those 6 kids. She goes to work, guess what happens? The boyfriend overdoses while he's babysitting her kid. She takes $1,500 of money that she made to go bail him out. But hold on, you spoke. Let me come and address what you just said. If you've been there, then you're educated enough to understand what I'm speaking about. When I've been in America for the last 48 years, I was poor, but I can't tell you I missed too many meals. I can't tell you that how many times our lights was off. But when you see those people, and if you've ever been there, then you understand the needs that are there, and why I say I give to those ministries, because I've actually been there to understand that they have needs that Americans take for granted.
Pastor,
okay,
you have a question. Did I see the pastor help those Haitians? They wanted to know that you go over there and help the Haitian people that's over here right now.
And let me talk about Haitian people get a chance.
wait a minute. I got this. Let me say something. First of all, I had house in the Philippines. I was in Pampanga. Okay, I can speak once. My ex-husband, my daughter, my oldest girl, okay, lived in something. I helped him for with the orphanage and things like that. You know what I mean? So I get that, but also I'm also that's here. And people right now, like I had to go as far as to pay bill, better yet, mortgage, things of that, because of the economy that can't take care of. Then I own a option.
Well, the thing that I would say to that is, number one, when we're talking about here, there are ways to make money without me giving you a dime. You can have an idea and become a millionaire in America. You know, we take for granted, you know, that if I give somebody on the side of the highway $100 versus sending that $100 to somebody that, like I said, if they miss a meal, miss 3-4 meals, their lives are in jeopardy. Whereas we have shelters for the homeless. And I think what Dr. Hale does is, hold on, Bishop. We have people that like Dr. Hale that serve that part of the community. Everybody shouldn't focus solely on America. This is my personal belief. Now, if you say, hey, you know, I don't really get down with that, or I don't respect that, that's your right. This is America. We have the right to truly believe whatever we want to believe. But hold on.
That don't make sense.
You're getting upset, but you have to understand. I see y'all getting upset, but
no.
You have to understand, as an American, we have to have ideas that differ. We don't have to believe the same thing.
We don't know.
You believe that, if you believe that, hey, I need to give to my community at home, and you subscribe to that theory, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to have my theory, and I'm going to do what I think is best. And I'm going to respect you. I'm going to respect your thoughts. But I think we got to come to an understanding that we differ, because that's just America. That's just the way we are.
But you know what? That's fair. Hey, I know y'all hear me on this thing. Okay,
No, we just heard you.
That's where diversity comes from, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have
Exactly.
a different approach on at things.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But
yes.
I look at this because I travel abroad as well. But at the same time, I'm looking at what about my too?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like when Haitian people were coming here to Houston, we was on the line helping those people get to Houston. You know what I mean? I ain't seen the only person I seen that came back with those people was Sheila Lee, Al Green, State Rep Ron Reynolds, Synfronia Thompson. I didn't see no other come and help them this time. But I do got a organization to come out, and we came out and we helped as well. So my thing is this: at the end of the day, it's either you gonna talk about the work or you gonna do the work. Which one is it?
Correct. Very well said.
Oh, y'all wait.
Yeah, go ahead, Bishop.
Go, Bishop, and then we're going to introduce Ms. Gilbert.
Yes, I see Ms. Gilbert on the meeting her event, but let me address what I'm saying. Sir, like I said, I went missionary to Jamaica for probably 2 years straight, funded by myself and Dr. Kearney, probably Liz, and Kathy. We used to go to Jamaica fun. Now listen, I'm not concerned in other countries. I'm in America. I'm concerned about how my folks are being treated here. So if your mission is to foreign country, to the Philippines, to Africa, then it seems like instead of you being here in Richmond, you need to be over in Africa. Because listen, there's work that needs to be done here. And you got people like Dr. Mathis on and Dr. Gilbert who don't work here. That's just what I'm saying, preacher. Now, listen, you got a heart to help people, okay? And when you need to do American history, we've given more money to foreign countries than any other country have. We need that money here educating our Black kids, okay? Since y'all like to go that route, okay, instead of saying all kids. So you got a passion for foreign ministry, and you need to join these organizations. Good one, UPC. Want to get with Penelope. But right now, people here are hurting. We got brothers who don't have a place to stay, and you sending seeds in Africa, and Africa have all the diamonds, gold, and dominant culture go out. So what you money over there? No money.
Well, we throw away more food. We throw away food that could feed the homeless. But the thing about it is, we throw away more food than any other country.
So what you're
and what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to tell you is, the thing about it is, I've served my community here in America as a black man. I've been an example of what a black man, I believe a black man should be. That is worth something. And the thing about it is, we are so self-absorbed sometimes that we look at the rights that have been violated in this country of African Americans. That has nothing to do with money. It has to do with understanding who you are and where you came from. One thing about going back to Africa, the one thing that I see about African Americans here is they've forgotten their identity. They've forgotten who they are and where they came from.
You didn't.
Wait, now, Bishop, hold on. Let me get into this. When you go back, when you go back to Africa, they have not been stripped of their culture. They have not been stripped of their belief and confidence in themselves. But then when I come back to America, I see so many blacks and African Americans that have no understanding about who they are or where they came from, and they don't care. And my thing has been to be an example of understand where you came from. If you don't understand where you came from, you're doomed to repeat the same lessons that brought us to this point.
Man, I want to hear because, I mean, let me explain it to you. I know who I am and what I want, and the value I am as a black. You probably ain't gonna get another one like that. Trust me, okay? For whatever you sound like, you got a problem with your people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got a problem with Negro black people, then you need to them instead of running on country and trying to help. If something doesn't add up here, now hell, I ain't knowing. But give Dr. Gill out of respect. Let's just help.
Well, we're going to go ahead and let Miss Deidre Gilbert speak. Yeah, because she's running for governor of Texas, and we definitely want to hear from her. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I told Lady Hale, I said, okay, I'm cleaning. I'm cleaning, but she said, can you please come on? And I'm like, okay, but I'm cleaning, but I'm here. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I don't know, there's an echo, I guess. Can you all hear me? Very well? Okay. So yeah, so it's okay. I think that's much better. But yes, so I'm just glad to be here. And yes, I'm running for the governor of the state of Texas. And I think we have a lot of work to do as it relates to people, period. I've been talking to several groups of people, and not only African American people, but I've been talking to the African community, Pakistani community, the Muslim community, the Latino community. And it seems that we all have one thing in common, and pretty much we all just want what we feel that we deserve, which is, basic needs: housing, food, clothing, a job, and to be able to live, in peace. And so this race that I'm getting ready to run has definitely already started to become something to behold, but I'm ready for the fight. I don't know what our people are looking for as it relates to a governor. As a Black female, one of the things that I'm finding out on my trail as I'm going, and I'm going to be very truthful with you, is that the Democratic Party in itself has, they've already decided what they want to do. And it's not a Black female. However, I'm running anyway, with or without the blessing of the party. In actuality, it seems that a lot of the Black females, way before I came aboard, Stacey Abrams and the mayor, Keisha Bottoms, they all had this issue with the party, that the party never endorsed them, the party never backed them. But they kept going. And, and you see that they are doing very well. And so that's what I intend to do, is I'm going to run this race like I need to run this race. And because we definitely need change. I've been around politics, you all, for over 40 years. And I know, a lot of people may ask, well, who are you? And I'm just like you and anybody else. I have a political science background. I majored in educational administration, a master's degree. And I've been around, as I said, the political arena for 40 years. I ran for office in 2018 when I found out that the court system was illegally doing things to people as it related to their credit. And I thought that I would run for justice of the peace. And I did that. I did not want to run for office because I know what it's all about. I know politics is a dirty road. But in 2011, my daughter was the victim of medical malpractice, and she died in one of the hospitals here. And I tried my best to try to get legislation changed. I tried to talk to people trying to get tort reform removed and have a seat at the table. And I was just told that there was nothing that they could do and the Republicans had too much money. That was my answer. So I never actually got a chance to do what I needed to do as it related to justice for my daughter's death. So I created the only nonprofit in the state where I actually help those that have been harmed by medical error. And we have been instrumental in getting laws changed and some bills in other states on the books. And so I've been fighting, for the civil rights and social justice rights for forever. And so that's just who I am. I'm a social justice, civil rights advocate in my spirit. And I know that Texas needs somebody who is going to look at legislation and figure out why we are allowing legislation to just slip in overnight and be created to just pretty much destroy civil rights all across the board. And that is what we're dealing with now as we're looking at what Abbott is doing. They're waking up or going to sleep while we're asleep and just creating all kinds of things. And once you know what's in the inside, which I do, I know that, it's an internal issue. We have a lot of people that that are put into positions where those people have to be pushed out. And the only way you're going to get any laws changed is that you're going to have to put the right person in office. And I'm willing to fight to the very end to do that. So, I don't know. Again, we have so many issues in Texas. You already know that. You just pick something: education, environment, healthcare. Just pick something, and we got a problem. I think Texas is we're at the very bottom of the totem pole as it ranks in all of those issues. And
we're not worse than California.
Go ahead.
We're not as worse as California.
Well, I'm going to say we're neck and neck, because whatever California, Texas does, as well as Florida and New York, we sort of piggyback on one another as it relates to the laws that are created. I don't know if you ever heard of ALEC, but ALEC is the American Legislative Exchange Council, which is really your arm as it relates to law. About 65% of our legislative leaders, even our governor, which they call the darling of ALEC, they work for big business. No matter what you try to do, whether if they're fighting and running down to Washington, D.C. for voting rights, it really didn't matter to them because their mind is always set on big business. And it will forever be that way because we have 60% of our senators who are part of ALEC. And I don't know if you know what that is, but please go and look it up. And you will notice that they have model legislation that's created, and they just bring it back to the states. And they have appointed people on committees in our own state houses who create this legislation, and they just put it into law. So you have 700 and 800,000 page documents that none of these people ever read. And they just push them into law because big business wants that.
Okay, Ms. Gilbert, not to interrupt you, but you had two questions. They wanted to know, what is your platform, and are you located in Harris County?
I'm not in Harris County. I'm in Fort Bend. And as I said, my platform basically is built on legislation. That's going to be my main thing. And that focuses on all of the dynamics, whether we're talking about healthcare, whether we're talking about voting rights, whether we're going to be talking about education. That's going to be the most important thing. If you've ever talked to a legislative leader, they will tell you, I don't care what we do until legislation is changed, nothing else is going to change. However, we're going to have to do a little bit better with communication because we don't do enough of that, and having conversations where we're uncomfortable with some of the issues that we have, and we're going to have to be able to talk to people and listen to what people need. And we're going to have to bring all these people together. We cannot have what we have now, where we have a governor don't like the president don't like the governor don't like the mayor. Everybody don't like one another. So therefore, nothing is getting done.
I wanted to ask a question, if I could.
Yes.
What did you think of Governor Abbott's, policies as far as opening the state back up? Did we open up too soon? Was it too much too fast? Or what, as governor, what would you have done differently in response to our COVID issue here in the state of Texas?
So, as I stated, as it relates to foreign policy with the governor, and we're working with the president because that's how that works. The first thing is communication. And there should have been a sit-down communication. I'm going to say, let's hash this stuff out and talk about what works, what don't work, and how to make it work. This did not happen. We had sort of like a one-sided conversation or a battle between testosterone, who could stand up the longest with with our fist up. And therefore, because of the lack of communication and the lack of, I'm going to say, the ability to sit down and talk about what we need to do, how to get it done, how to open up schools, not just something that just one side makes up and you just go and you do this. This required a lot of people sitting at the table and coming together to figure out how to get that done. That never happened. And because of that breakdown, and because of the foolishness of these people who were fighting with each other because they did not like one another, the people of Texas suffered. They suffered. Now, I taught school for 26 years, and I have a background in science and 26 years of science. So what I said to people about the COVID, there was lack of information.
You're echoing in the back, sweetheart.
Yes, I do know that. That's what I'm saying. I can hear that. I don't know what's really happening. So there were things that did not occur. There were communication breakdowns. There was misinformation, disinformation, not enough information, whatever you want to call it. That brought us to where we are now. Whenever you're talking about trying to figure out if something works, in science, you have to have a control group and you have to have a group where it's not controlled, right? Well, whenever you put just everybody into one place, you're bound to have chaos. So that's pretty much what happened. Nobody worked at what do we do first? How do we do it? And then there were countries and there were states that battled this, did a wonderful job. We didn't even have conversations with these people to find out what's working in your state, what's working, because this is how the foreign policy of the state is supposed to be run. With you sitting down with people who are experts, who understand what this does, how this does, and then you come to a consensus. None of that happened. So where are we right now?
Ms. Gilbert, let me ask you a question. If you're
Sure.
running for, now listen, and to be realistic, okay, I like I said, I met you. I think I know several politicians. I'm not going to name drop. Lanita, no, I know many politicians here in Fort Bend County. You got a hell of a job ahead of you. You got one of your own colleagues who is now announced he's running and has a better chance of winning, which is the little skinny, funny-looking fella, Beto O'Rourke, or however you say his name. And then you have this gentleman from Beaumont. What is it? The NAACP chapter Beaumont.
Mr. Michael Cooper.
So if you're running, how do you get the people that should be supporting you to help come together and pick one party, one candidate rather, to run? Because he got a lot of money that
Beto,
our people don't have. I'm just concerned. You have a very wonderful look. Coming from Donald Baker is very rare, but you have a good platform, a good concept, a good idea. But talk to these people that's listening, because you in order to get your vision out there, they need your support. And right now, you got somebody who got more money.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
And they're very liberal, and they want to stop a lot. Now understand that that's a tough job.
It is.
And how are you going to accomplish that? Is it something, or is it a statement you want to make to the public by running with the concept in your mind? I may not make this because it costs a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel about that? Somebody in your own party, which we need to come to, well, not we, because I'm not a part of it, but your party needs to come together. Now we know the truth. We just need to tell it.
Yeah. Well, here's
money.
Yeah, it does cost a lot of money. And here's the party has always decided that money was, that's what your viability was based on how much money you can raise. That is what they believe. And you have to have money. Why am I running? It's because I do not believe that Beto is the right person for Texas.
Well, I can believe that. I thank you for that.
Okay, so, and that is my personal opinion, is Beto is not the right person for Texas. And there are some things that we fail to look at, or we don't want to look at, or we just don't care because that person can raise money, and that may be all that they're looking at. However, there are some serious issues that we need to be focusing on. And at this particular point in time, I can't personally speak on that, but I'm sure it's going to come out sooner or later. And when it does, it's not going to be good. And the point is if I thought that Beto was the one, I wouldn't even be running for office. because I mean, like you said, yes, it costs a lot of money, but nobody knows how I'm going to be raising my money. Nobody really knows if I've raised a lot of money because I do have.
Hey, what I'm saying, your party must come together. Now you
Yeah.
can go listen, people. You can go online and look at any candidate and their donations to campaigns. It's public information. I do it because I give. All right, and once you give, they call you. All of them call you, and except Jesus.
Right.
But my point, it's going to take a lot of money, and then you have. I ain't worried about Beto, but
he has even
office now has a greater chance.
But he
how are
hasn't
you
really
going to run?
decided though. Beto haven't really decided if he was coming out or not.
It's been announced. It was in the Wall Street and
when was that announced? Because he still haven't decided yet.
Oh yes, it's out. He's there. You know how snakes slide through cracks.
Saying is, listen, he hasn't officially come out and said it yet. See, what he's doing right now is testing the waters, and also Matthew McConaughey. That is also what they're doing.
I'm not worried about
to see what those polls are going to look like if they were to run against Governor Abbott. Now, let's just be clear. Governor Abbott has failed completely as a governor. His accountability rating is just ridiculous. You sending children to school without listening to science at all. You turn around and you're signing these egregious bills. Then on top of that, you're violating the assault on our democracy, disenfranchising people of color, okay? And you don't give a damn. Then you turn around and made it very clear that the Border Patrol officer that was on that horse whipping that Haitian man, that you would give him a job. Okay? So let's be clear. You're dealing with a minion of Donald Trump. Trumpism is what we're dealing with. And so a lot of these people,
Trump not in office. Okay.
No. He's publicizing.
You got a sick man by the name of Biden in the office. Bipolar. Let's address that.
Publicizing is what is happening.
But
he's publicizing because Donald
to help your party.
But
if you keep focusing on Trump, y'all not going to make it. Trump is not in office. But no, you got Biden in office.
But you're not
getting man.
What Donald Trump is doing at this point right now, Donald Trump has actually split the Republican Party, is what he has done. Okay? And so a lot of those contemporary conservatives, they're actually coming to the Democratic Party is what's happening right now.
Now, you know the Republicans are coming after you for that false statement.
Not necessarily, because I'm telling you now, you got some Republicans right now that do not condone the stuff that Donald Trump is doing. They're saying that Donald Trump is really bringing a party like it's a cult. You know what I'm saying? I have friends that are Republicans who talks about it all the time. But at the end of the day, let's just be clear. If we're going to lay the accountability, we need to lay it where it needs to lie. Where it needs to lie is that you have a governor who doesn't know how to effectively run the law.
I do beg to differ with something. I think that it is dangerous to underestimate Trump, even as he does not hold office. I think that his rhetoric, I think his ideas connected with a portion of society that has been closeted as far as racism goes, as far as marginalizing blacks, marginalizing our minorities. And I think that there's, even if those politicians want to go against Trump, they understand that going against Trump means that I could lose my election. And so even with all of the backlash against Trump, it is important to notice that he did not lose the election in a landslide. He lost by a slim margin. And so what we have to understand is that he still looms large when it comes to the next election. He looms large when it comes to battleground states in our country. And if we're not careful, we're going to slide back into a time where blacks are marginalized in this country. So it's it's very dangerous to underestimate him. And I want to be something. I want to be very clear about something. I saw a number of churches that welcomed Trump into their houses of worship. Why? Because they identify with him. They identify with the fact that he is not ashamed of his racial views. He is not ashamed of what kind of person and what kind of leader he is. And that is something that we have to understand. America connected with him on a basis that, you know what, I feel the same way you do.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, they already that way. All he did was perpetuate it. That was already there. It was already instilled. He just brought it out of them because they were hiding behind with covert racism. Now they out.
Correct. That's what I was saying. Closeted racist.
See,
And,
that has view out, which is me. And black racism is dangerous as racism. And you don't understand that you have black racists and white racists, and your leader, Dr. King, who you identify, you say with, had that made that statement. Don't talk so much. We beat that horse so till it's dead. The black races and white race, that's gonna always exist. Do you think I'm gonna sit here and tell you that I like? Now notice the word like. Do you think I like every white person, every black person? No, I love them. But guess what? On the other hand, I view a person by their beliefs. That Ms. Gilbert has a platform that is wonderful. Okay, and Dr. Hale knows that everyone got me to cross the road to give money to. But what I'm saying is, quit beating that horse. We far beyond that. Man, ain't no way you're gonna push Negroes back into some slavery mentality with vote rights. I don't believe that. Okay, and if you
doing.
And I think that you know we have to understand something. Not only hold on, not only Dr. King, but also Malcolm X. I mean, you know, it's not an accident that whenever a black man connects as a leader, he's assassinated in this country. I want you to understand that it's still very real. If a black man ever connects with, hold on, let me say this: if a black man ever connects with being a leader in this country, there's a reason he is assassinated. There's a reason that he is silenced. You can say, well, that's the past. We're not far. I'm sorry. This country can say, you don't have to point back 300 years to find lynchings and things that actually almost destroyed community. You can.
What Negro? Why they didn't assassinate your former, who y'all thought was the savior on the horse, the Magic Negro, Obama? They didn't assassinate.
Okay, well then explain.
They did assassinate him.
Explain.
They did assassinate him.
Look here.
If you notice, they use character assassination. They use.
You couldn't expect him.
I'm just. Like I said, you asked me. Well, I understand you got liking what I'm putting out there, but that's the real, and you have to understand that, Bishop.
You can't let Obama
cannot walk around here and think that this racism stuff is just it's what it is.
It's been here forever, even in
brutality. Let's look at a lot of these people that have lost their lives. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Javier Amler, all of these people that have lost their lives due to racism. That is the underlying.
Why am I still alive?
Why are you still alive? Maybe because you didn't go to Beaumont and was walking intoxicated.
Whoa!
Excuse me.
All right, now wait here a minute now.
Born and
you started something else.
Siblings or more, nieces.
Okay, well then
I'm scared. I ain't scared of the
Dr. Hale, we gonna go all night. We gonna go all night.
No. Let me explain something.
No, ain't got nothing to do with that. No, that's the matter. I ain't scared of the Ku Klux Klans. I'm scared of these black politicians, some of them,
mayor of Port Arthur,
that lie and get it up.
No.
Well, can I ask you? I just want to say one thing. We're if you look at every other culture here, you look at
the sheriff of
you ask the
Beaumont PD. Let me tell you this, Beaumont PD. I just came from Beaumont down there from Kick.
That's my home.
Because what they did, they took an African American man that was publicly intoxicated. Instead of taking this man for him to detox, they handcuffed this man, throwed him in the air, throwed him on his head, and man is not paralyzed.
Well, do you know?
Well, the thing
tell me that is nothing racist.
Well, let me say this.
Dr.
Hold on. The Spanish came here as explorers. Whites came here to escape persecution. Blacks came here in chains.
I didn't.
You never seen. Hold on. You don't have to go back too long to find that your ancestors came here on a boat against their will. You're not here because they wanted you here. They're here because they were carried here. You have to understand that.
Here, I ain't never blacker than I will be. Stop using that.
Wait, is it true?
Now
is it true?
It's what true?
It's true that hold on. African Americans did not come here.
Where you from, Pat?
Hold on. You want to know where I'm from? Well, you want to trace my ancestry back, or you want to ask me
where you from?
I'm from.
Donald, you from Beaumont, right?
Who, me?
And I got siblings.
So Donald, how come I didn't see you weekend at that moment?
Oh golly. Well, let me say this. I'm from Opelousas, Louisiana. And this is what I want to tell you. You see all these cultures that came here as explorers or to escape persecution. Blacks didn't come here because they wanted to escape persecution. We were brought here. And you have to understand that.
This is my.
Well, you should.
And I didn't come of some damn boat. Stop saying that lie. That don't even work. I didn't come. You should have had your boat. I came. I was raised and I got the same damn right as white folks and black folks. Quit using that. It doesn't work anymore.
Ask your grandfather and your grandmother how you got here.
And dead. I ain't studying them. Okay?
Look here.
Seriously.
We need to be talking about why he wasn't marching with us and he's supposed to be from Beaumont.
Let me answer that question.
I went to Beaumont Friday and I was there Saturday.
Yeah, they were there.
Look here,
I don't care, but listen, Beaumont is my home.
So if you why you wasn't there with us?
I do not support that side of the street. I don't even think that. What's the problem? That's my home. I got to in there. I'm talking about people. Listen, Dr. Mathis, I thank you for what you do with Dr. Gilbert. She's doing a wonderful job and she's putting up a hell of a fight. And if you Negroes are serious, and listen, I'm from the other side. If you Negroes are serious about helping, why don't you find out how to donate some money to her? Because she's got to fight Abbott, she got to fight Beto, and how many other people. If you're serious on your party, quit doing all this.
Why can't you donate?
Well, not you. That's the message now. Don't let me
man who can't walk no more. You should have had your butt on the front line with us.
Well, you should have
in your
I
town.
don't know.
I came to your town and kicked some doors in. You should have been there.
No, but my town, I'm here. Dr. Mathis, let me explain to you. I've been here in Houston since I was 13. My family there. So what goes on in Beaumont?
So guess what? My family there. My daddy from Beaumont. My mama from Port Arthur.
Well, we're going to talk about that later on off the line, me and you.
Now, kill it.
No, don't do me like that. I'm trying to
help. Them two there. I'm telling y'all, them two there.
You got a problem. You got a problem in this country.
Hold on.
Politicians and
anything as far as when it comes to the governor's race, because I sit on the state endorsement committee. So I cannot go and say that I endorse anybody, nothing like that, because I have to sit on that committee and they have to, speak with us. So I have to keep that on
Give you money.
that. But as far as Donald behind, he should have had his behind down there in Beaumont while you over here.
No, because Donald Baker's not checking every time something happens in my community. I don't know the story. He shouldn't have been drunk in public. I don't know the story.
How about I'm going to send you the story because I was headlining.
You can send it to me. But remember something. I'll tell you this, what I said on the show the other day.
If I do a press conference Thursday, you better have your butt down there. If you for
No, ma'am. I don't do that. Listen, let me tell you something. I told someone today driving back, Ms. Gilbert, from working as a business owner. I said, you know what? All my hurt, all my disappointments, all my upset stuff have not. This church folk, not from the Stillman, come from the people. Now, in the political arena, okay, I'm just a person who can help and make a difference by saying this is the one, as well as Dr. Matthews. She has a very strong voice, even though we don't agree on certain things. Now, these preachers, Dr. Gilbert, listen to me, trust me, ma'am. I'm a retired pastor, bishop, 20 years. These black preachers, if you ain't putting no money, they're not gonna help you. They're gonna talk about yes, okay? Trust me. You gotta understand. I'm gonna give you a secret. You gotta almost agree with them and not to agree to get them to support, because they ain't gonna let you in their churches unless you're leaving a check. These black preachers, okay? So your platform has to become broadened. And Dr. Mathis would tell you that she ain't just hanging out with Negroes, okay? Because she know the job can't get done. It takes everybody. And you have preachers like, I ain't got nothing to lose anyway, like Dr. Ellis, who have this little narrow perception and want to go all the way back to Africa. Then go back to Africa if that's where you from. I wasn't bought here that way, okay? And you're more concerned about him over there than you are people. I said, hey, you want me? Hey,
I feel like I said, I think that
you want to see
what Bishop is trying to convey is that we have to understand that history is not just a lesson to be left behind. History is something that we all need to understand. One of the greatest political figures wasn't a politician. That's why I say Dr. King was one of the most powerful forces in this country, because he had a vision for equality. Now, what I wanted to ask the candidate, I understand where Bishop is coming from as far as black pastors and black pastors have been corrupted by their greed or income. Now, do I subscribe to all of that? I don't put it all, because there are white pastors that do the same thing. But what I would say as a pastor is I've encouraged my people to vote. I don't encourage them to just believe in what I call Christian love, which is, well, don't worry about it, things will change or things will be the same. That's the same mentality that, we were forced to have as slaves, is that we suffer in this life, don't worry about it, you can't do anything about it. I tell those that I minister to, you have a right as a citizen to vote. And if a person can come across here and have a vision that I can believe in, yeah, I can say, you know what, I'll vote for that person. But I don't just believe in someone that comes on and says this paints a pretty picture, because this is not a country that is a pretty picture. This is a country that is in crisis.
Why are you?
Wait, hold on. I know you feel a certain way, but this is a country that is in crisis in a number of different ways. Man, but it is because we have allowed this country by not engaging in our God-given right to vote and say, you know what, I'm not going to vote for a candidate. I'm not going to just be a church pew sitter that is not engaged in changing my community. I voted. And but in the Pentecostal, especially in the Pentecostal black church, we have an attitude of what slaves had back in the day of, don't worry about it, we're just supposed to suffer. And I believe the reason I'm so big a fan of Dr. King is he told us you don't have to just suffer. You don't have to just be called boy. You don't have to just wait for somebody to string you up. You can be a person that stands for change. And we have to stop making excuses for why this country is in the state it is in.
Why are you find somebody live right now to talk about this man? Okay? I'm sick of trying to regulate people that have gone on and done a wonderful job. Tell me about somebody. You keep bringing up Dr. King. He ain't coming back. You got people right now that's doing a good job. Look at Miss Gilbert. Look at Matthew. Look at him. You keep bringing up a dead man. And I don't understand why you black preachers are always trying to bring up somebody dead to make a point. We got people alive.
Well, let me say this. Even Jesus Christ,
Miss
when we bring him up,
yes.
Man,
well, I mean, you said wasn't he crucified? And we still talk about it.
That's Jesus.
So one thing about it is, I think that.
Okay, Dr. Matthews is trying to talk. Can we let her talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute. My question is that Miss Gilbert, because I only can ask certain things, okay? And so I'm just going to ask something that has been said as far as with, other constituents, as far as with people running for governor, right? So what have you done as far as making yourself visible in all 254 counties? Because you're running a big race.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm doing. I've been out there. I've been running. I've been out there for a long time. Now, a lot of you don't know me because I wasn't running for political office. But to tell you the truth, I've actually been all across the country. And I am very known across the country for what I do. Now, you may not know me because you know what? Okay, I'm just saying a lot of people may not know me, but I've done a lot of things behind the scenes. I wasn't out. But if you Google my name or you Google medical malpractice money, you'll see everything that you want to see. I've been on TV shows. I've been on radio, podcasts, whatever it is that you think. I've been there. Now, I wasn't running for political office. So I had no need to run to 254 states as it related to political office. I am out there now. So let me tell you the truth of the reason why I'm not visible now. I've been out there since December. I and Michael are the only two people on the Democratic side that actually is legally running and confirmed as a Democratic candidate. Mm-hmm. However, our names are not being mentioned. It's almost like we're non-existent. If you go on Ballotpedia, my name is there as a confirmed Democratic governor running for governor of the state of Texas. But however, actually, the media
mentioning Michael Cooper because Michael Cooper ran for lieutenant governor and almost made it. Also, Michael Cooper ran for U.S. Senator against Ted Cruz with him and Royce West. And then, of course, he didn't make it there. So it's like his name is
he's a cowboy now.
Out there.
And I understand all of that. The point is that regardless of whether or not I've run before, I am a confirmed candidate. So it doesn't matter if I'm a confirmed candidate, which simply means if they should be able to mention my name. But I know why I'm not being mentioned because, first of all, I'm a female. I'm a Black female.
Money. You need some money.
Well, yeah, because according to them, my viability for a candidate is based on how much money I can raise. So basically, when they look at me, they figure like, oh, she can't raise the money. You don't really know what I'm doing at this particular point. You don't know who I know. But see, you don't know what I'm going to do.
But see, my question is more like for the everyday person. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
the everyday person, they will turn around and ask. Say like, I could be in Coots, Texas, and if I say your name, they be like, "Well, who is that?" So that's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. You running a big race. See, I can go to Coots, I can go to Jamestown. They know who Michael Coop is.
I bet you
They
won't
know
go to
who Michael
mine.
Yeah.
Coop is.
And I mean, that's fine and dandy, but you have to give, the thing is that
as a
there
black
have been many people who have run for office who were not known.
Well,
Let's just say,
I wanted to
no,
ask this question. Are you saying she's not known in a rural
no, no.
community, or are you saying that she's not known statewide?
They run
Because see, I'm gonna give you a prime example. The key to winning in Texas, you got to get them rural areas because one, that's how Beto lost against Ted Cruz was those rural areas. So the
mhm,
question is, that's why I'm asking her, like, what plan you have to get your name, to get you out there so these constituents can know who you are. They know you in Fort Bend, they know you in Harris County, they may know you in Jefferson County, but what about over in Corrigan? What about here? Because you running a statewide race.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we are working on a rural plan. I mean, we already doing that. We got a plan to get out there. I'm talking to some people now where we plan to get in those areas. We are I mean, I've been on Zoom calls with people in rural areas.
Mhm.
Since we can't go to certain areas now, people don't want to meet in person. So I've met with several people across the states. And it's just a matter, again, I just say this. Had they mentioned my name as a candidate, regardless of how they feel about me or regardless of who they want to be there, just mention my name, show my face on a TV screen. And you can better believe then, they're going to know that Deirdre Gilbert is running for office. I'm going to have to fight a little harder because they don't plan to show my picture.
Them black
They
people.
don't.
Okay, but see, you know what? I noticed you said that right. So what? And I'm just saying this, and I'm just speaking just freely.
Yes,
You got to do. You got to kick the door down.
absolutely.
Thing about it
Absolutely.
is, if you running for governor and this is what you're trying to do, what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this just in general. I'm not saying this in the capacity of none of the organizations I'm in. I'm speaking as an everyday person. You got to make your name known. You got to get out there. You can't just depend on these other organizations to do it. You got to get out
Right.
there.
Mm-hmm. And then I mean that's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing.
The
Yeah.
ground game is the key.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to ask a question. Are you saying that you feel as though she is failing in those areas, or you feel like this is
No,
something?
the question, because again, I have to be very cautious on how I ask certain
Yeah.
things.
With her position,
Yeah.
she has to be
Yeah. And I
careful.
understand what she's saying. I understand exactly what she's saying. They're not going to give me what I'm looking for. We've already made that determination. So basically, because I already know that, I know what we have to do. So the long lady on here, she's a Brazoria councilman. I mean, I know several attorneys and several lawyers and judges and a whole lot of other people that are in Brazoria. Again, my name may not be known to a city council person because I didn't have to deal with a council member in that sort. But maybe your mayor in those counties, I may have had to deal with a hospital system. I may have to have dealt with, and they probably would know who I am.
But you know what,
So,
though, teacher? But your name need to be in Pookie and Nook mouth.
and that's where we headed.
If you can get them off the streets
You see what I'm saying? Because guess what? That
and get
councilman,
them guns out the
I
pocket,
get that,
rob it.
but your name need to be in the mouths of the everyday people because
Yes.
that who vote is gonna get you in there.
Yes.
Miss Murray online, I just noticed. She know my daughter's godmother. She should know who that is. She's a Fort Bend County tax assessor. Now look, she ain't my party friend, but I voted for her, and she treated me
Okay.
with kindness.
And I know her. Yes.
So look, Who helping you in Fort Bend County? You got a lot of black Negroes in position. Now, if they come for me, I'm ready. You got the DA, you got the county attorney, you got the tax assessor, and the rest of these judges down there. Why I don't see them with you?
Why you don't see them with me?
Yeah, why they not plastering everything? Get them in a sense. Get them to back you. Are they supporting you? Have you gotten their backing on private? Hello, I got you.
And probably so. And I probably have gotten some people. Yes, I have. I've got some names of people in Fort Bend that is behind me. Definitely.
Yeah, and I know those names, but I can't say nothing.
I ain't gonna say them either.
And I got some people in Harris County. Now, when it comes down to endorsements and things like that, we have to sometimes be very careful and very strategic with who we are dealing with.
You want my money?
I want both.
Now you're talking about.
We're going over. We're going to end with you, Ms. Gilbert. Then we're going to hear from our own Dr. Candace Matthews and all the great things she's doing. And we want to thank everybody for coming out. This has been a really, really good show. It's been really engaging. The comments, I've been trying to keep up with the comments, but thank you so much. And I also want to let them know that any politician that's out there that wants to come on the show, please call me. We are open to anybody that wants to come on. So we'll have Mr. Baker back with us again, and we'll have the pastor, and if Dr. Matthews is available, because they're going to tell you just like it is. They're not going to sugarcoat it. They're going to tell it. It is what it is. Okay, Ms. Gilbert, and then we're in with Dr. Candace Matthews. Look at her looking out beautiful over there.
I'm chicken wings with her. She made me watch her purse while she go give a speech.
First of all,
a Gucci.
First of all, don't let me get you.
Hey, what's that cologne? What's that perfume?
Some of that Gucci guilty.
Watch that.
Okay. Bye. Thank you. Bye. So, at the end of the day, everybody, didn't I say move? Because see, you being rude again.
Mama.
Okay, thank you. Okay, see, I'm on Mama Duty.
That's so cute.
But what I was gonna say is that at the end of the day, y'all, we are definitely at ground zero here in Texas. We are fighting for the soul of our nation at this point right now. And we have to be very strategic, and we have to know who and what we're voting for. Mm-hmm. And then going out to people that are running for office. You need to make sure that you know what your platform is. You need to make sure that you have a hell of a ground game. And you need to make sure that people know who you are. And don't worry about no approval. Make them get, you know what I mean? And then another thing that I look at is that at the end of the day, y'all, we're dealing with some wicked people in high places. And we have to make sure that we know how to navigate with these type of people. We have to make sure that we understand what is actually the agenda of what they're trying to do to our people and to disenfranchise us in the process. We have to understand that it's an assault on our democracy. We cannot and we will not allow or lay down for this foolishness to continue. Y'all need to get your butts out and vote. You need to get registered because this here is either vote or die at this point right now. Because look at these egregious legislations that's being dropped. I was down there during legislative session fighting hand on end for the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats and also for Texas Minorities Providers Associations because I own a foster adoption agency and they're doing things that's egregious to minority provider business owners like myself. And then one thing is, like I say this, we have so many people that do a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? You do this too much. But then when it's time to do the work and get on the battlefield, you're not doing nothing. So
you got a lot of money, Dr.
I
Matthews. Now
respect
you need to get some of that
anything if you're not doing nothing. Because guess what? I'm going to talk this and I'm going to do this. Because I don't talk about it. I be about it. And that's why I expect. Because let's be clear. Just like with our legislators that left to run to get rid of these egregious bills. And then you have State Rep Briscoe Kane talking about when they come back, his wife gonna give him a knuckle sandwich. Then you got the same State Rep Briscoe Kane, they even assaulting our Democratic judges. They run around here trying to impeach our judges because they conditionally granted a habeas corpus. Like they are playing chess. And then we got the most corrupt attorney general who should have been in federal prison, and he ain't gone nowhere yet.
You
So
say our mayor,
you know
Sylvester
what-
Turner, should be in prison for the fraud that he committed?
Stop
Allegedly.
being messy.
Oh,
all I'm saying, we have an
It's so
attorney
crazy.
general who's supposed to be in prison and he not in prison. So how is it that y'all gonna run around here and throw R. Kelly in jail before you throw this fool in jail and he done some stuff too? I'm just saying.
You just said.
To
And
make
also, Dr. Matthews, myself, and I have a couple of more people on my team. We have been deputized to go out and register to vote. So whenever y'all need voters to registration, just call us up. We're ready to go out and help you get people
I hope
registered.
you're ready to go to the strip club because we got to get them.
Come
to
on, wherever we gotta go.
available. I'm available. Now, this preacher may not be, but I'm available.
Look here.
I know it's a pandemic.
No, he can't come. He can't come. No, he's not going.
I'm gonna say this to y'all, and y'all think it's a game, but I'm being real serious. When you got Miss
Gonna get that money.
Brown Sugar on the pole,
Put this mask on.
Sugar on the pole can vote for you. You know what I'm saying? Then we have people who have criminal background, but no longer on paper, and they don't even know that they can vote. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
She's telling the truth.
I got an issue with our people when they get to a certain status, then you forget about Pookie and Nook Nook them. You know what I'm saying? That's a voter too. So Pookie and Nook Nook, I'm finna go over there in Swiss Village. I'm finna go over there off Homestead. So
Have
I
a stop, Coke
understand.
Apartments.
I ain't going over there. They broke in my car. I ain't messing with them Negroes over Homestead. I went to see a time and they broke in my damn car. I ain't.
Well,
Now
if
you
you
grew
would've-
up in Trinity Garden,
You
Donna
get
Baker.
me
You know
that
better than that.
my information
you would have been
because
good.
I want to do something for you.
At the end of the day, though, y'all, we cannot be selective. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Because
You're right.
that same person in that strip club can be the one to get you in office.
They'll be the one to
We
break
have to
your vote.
raise awareness around the board, and we have to be unconventional. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
And
Yeah.
because you run around here, okay, I'm just going to the churches. I'm gonna get everybody at the church. Okay, but you need to be at Onyx too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. Is that awful?
Stop.
My office. My office is on Richmond. I'm familiar. I have a friend of mine who take me there for chicken.
But I'm just
Nothing but a mess.
and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done because you know and that's why a lot of people they not ready for me because I think outside the box because guess what, I got family members that dance, I got family members that you sell dope, I got family members that been in all of the
You
life.
why you ain't running for
But
office?
at the end of the day, how can we educate them so they can know who to vote for? Because when you do get in the jail, this could be a person who can help you. That's all I'm saying. Don't count them out, y'all.
What you say? I said what I said.
Right.
I said
What I said. All right. You got anything, Mr. Donald Baker, besides wanting to
Well,
go to the strip club?
I want you to send, which is not, I ain't got nothing to hide, okay? If I believe in something, I support. If I don't, I won't, okay? I'm not saying it'd be something tremendous, but you're welcome to give Miss Gilbert, I have two numbers. One
Oh
for
Lord.
and one for the white ice.
Which number you want me to give her?
5454. Give her that
Okay,
number.
is that the black line or the white line?
And most of the politicians say we know him in Fort Bend County. Okay, go on my Facebook page and you'll see. I believe in supporting organizations.
You do.
Now, what I would like to do, it doesn't mean, hey, Ms. Gilbert, I don't want to say it in the fashion.
He's just trying to help you out, in other words.
She needs some money, damn it. Okay?
Yes.
Bottom line, she wants, whether it's Democrat, Republican, liberal, black preachers.
Yes.
She needs money.
She
Yes.
does.
As a platform. Now, Dr. Mathis, one thing I can tell you about it, me and her fight, and I was thankful she let me sit down with her and wings and watch her expensive. I ain't never watched, when I was married, I ain't watched no woman purse. She told me, watch my purse, I got to give a speech. So I watched the purse and ate the wings. But I don't know why I just feel comfortable. Like a person that ran here in Fort Bend County, I told them that, hey, I'm of the other persuasion. And this person probably gonna see and know. I ain't gonna call her name. She's the first black, whatever you want to call, in Fort Bend County.
Okay.
And you'd be surprised the people that supported her.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know.
it was Dr. Mathis who said it, or someone. Now them preachers will do it, but don't.
Wait a minute, said I said what?
No, it's, they get up there and they forget about us.
No.
Now, Ms. Gilbert, you don't need some stuff. Now, whenever you give them my information.
I will.
And I'm going to do what I can when soon you send it to me. Preacher, do you know anything about Blue Vine? That's where you get money to the politician.
Well, I will say this.
Wait, how much?
Normally, I only give to African.
Just send some money.
African causes,
This
but wait, hold on. But give me a but. The thing is, I really enjoy talking to you.
Yes.
I think that if one thing that I think anybody that listens to you should understand is that you care.
Yes,
I care.
And that's one thing that we politicians is almost like a job. I don't feel like it's a job with you. I feel like you actually want to make changes in our community. You know, like I said before, I'm a big MLK fan. Some of Malcolm X.
I love Martin Luther King too. Yeah.
And wait, one more person.
Yeah.
I know you're dead, so you don't count, but Nelson Mandela, that's another one. And I think that look, I got Bishop almost grabbing his chest like Fred Sanford back in the day. But listen, I really thank you.
You're welcome.
And keep caring, and you gonna make a mark. I believe that.
Thank you.
I want to thank Bishop and everybody else, because, like I said, it was a great night. We'll me and Bishop gonna get down and talk about some.
He gonna be all right. Don't worry about Bishop Baker. He'll be all right.
We're gonna talk about Fred Sanford the next time we have lunch or something. Another person that's dead, but we're gonna sit down and talk about it. So
don't convert me. Bring that money to the table.
And invite me so I can come eat some chicken wings.
Oh, no doubt. Now, we ain't going on the blue line.
I love some chicken now. I love chicken.
You gotta go
I'll
to
find
Dr.
a
Matthews.
chicken restaurant that's real good.
Dr. Matthews.
What you said?
I'm at the other end of the table, 75 yards. I hear this voice holler in the Don Baker. And I stopped when I was sitting at the bar. I had my bottle of water. I walked straight over to her. I say, where do you know me from, and where you get the authority to call my name out like that?
Don't pay him no attention. He's all right.
Cool as she can be. Everybody, like she the savior, coming up to her, bowing and all this foolishness. And I say, what kind of something? So Miss Gilbert, we may need this old woman. She do have a little power now. She got some power. I'm just saying.
But no, you know what though?
And some money. She
I got
pulled
a
up.
story.
She had on some Gucci guilt. Pulled up in a
Yeah,
bean.
that perfume. But what was funny was that me and my husband was at the Zydeco in Crosby.
Yeah.
We seen Miss Gilbert there.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, don't you know her? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know. So
I know how to put on some cowboy boots.
I know that's right. I gotta get mine.
I know how to put on pumps. I know how to put on some
All right,
cowboy boots and some tennis shoes if I need to run.
You ready to
Miss
go?
Gilbert,
what I do
knows this
when
show.
I wear them cowboy boots, I'm gonna
But
tell
do you
this. Everybody
get
know
them
this.
preachers to take them damn suits off?
But yeah, everybody know when I go to the Capitol and I got one of them Stetson hats and a cowboy boot, that means I'm coming to kick down some doors. I'm not coming to knock on nothing. And so the state troopers, they be like, oh Lord, here she come. I be like,
I would say the same.
yeah, what's up? I'm coming to stir up this Capitol today. And then when we bought the slab riders,
Right.
they ain't never seen nothing like that. I had the whole hood at the Capitol, girl, everybody. I had the whole hood from pretty much all the major cities in Texas. And they was looking like, what is going on? You can see like some of the Caucasian people, they was like, what are those things hanging out of their cars? Like, what is that? I say, mind your business.
There you go.
Because we here, we got something to say.
There you go. Well, this has been so great. I thank Dr. Mathis. I really admire
Thank
her.
you.
And she's doing an excellent job. Miss Gilbert, Donna Baker, who I've known forever. Donna Baker just gonna be Donna Baker. So y'all let it go. He has a good heart and a good spirit. That's all you need.
And help me by supporting what I do for 25 years so I can help
go ahead, tell us what you do.
Yes.
So I can help Miss Gilbert and all these other politicians. I'm one of the advocates for two of the largest credit card processors in the country, where you swipe.
Okay.
I've been doing that for 25 years. I got signs and banners and Jesus and stuff all here. So
Okay.
Black people help support what I do by letting us set up a small business. Now, if you're out there selling that weed, don't call us. But,
Okay.
but I like Miss Gilbert. Of course, Dr. Mathis, that's my friend. She's my thug in the political.
Oh.
Oh, this has been wonderful. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
And then I put it out there. Any one that's running, we have had Dr. Michael Cooper on here. Donna Baker I'm gonna have him back when Donald's not on here, because Donald just really gave that man a hard time. He
loved me at the event that we was at.
Yeah, y'all love each other now. I think he ragged upon me.
Yeah.
I can't. Matthews ain't finna fool with Coop. Oh, well,
I'm gonna tell you, hey, Coop, that's my boy. Me and him been on the battlefield.
Everywhere you go, if you see her, you go see him.
He's a good man.
They everywhere.
I like him. He's a good man.
Well, thank you guys so much for
coming
on. Yes, ma'am.
Brother.
Okay.
My cousin was married to his brother, so that's why I would never take nobody in Beaumont and Port Arthur, because I'm kid to him.
Okay.
Donna Baker, Miss Mary say when she come on next week, she wants you on here.
Okay. Yeah, she's talk to her private.
Private. Okay.
And
we'll have you back on too, Pastor Ellis. Thank you so much. You want to just
thank y'all so much.
Closing words, Pastor?
You know, they take an offering when they do closing words.
Take two. Benevolence.
Yep. All right, hold on, Pastor. You muted. Unmute yourself, Pastor.
If I take offering, you know where it's going, right?
To Africa.
Africa, the Philippines, West Africa, North Africa. So no, but like I said, I really enjoyed it because, like I said, I think we were able to give the audience a taste of everything tonight. And one thing about it is vision is important. As Bishop said, money has its place.
Yes.
We're balanced though. I think, and that's the one thing we understand is that when we all come on together, we balance each other out. So
that's right.
That was the great thing about it, is to be able to conversate and differ. We don't all have to sound the same. We don't have to, and that's the thing I think people will feel, is that we can come with our beliefs and they're going to be respected. They may not be agreed with, but they will be respected. And so, like I said, I enjoy Bishop. I thank God for him.
Yes.
No, don't ever change, Bishop. Like I said, like I said, we go to heaven. We'll still hear your voice. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's the key, is that if we can come with our own views and then come and balance each other out and correct each other, we learn something.
True.
There's nothing more important than learning. So I'm really thankful for the show tonight.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait to view and just hear what's coming up next. So thank y'all. Y'all really blessed me.
Yes, thank everybody out your busy schedule. Thank you all. Thank you guys. Y'all were amazing and wonderful.